I think the almighty above is looking over us.
First at 6, breaking news. Tributes are pouring in for Judge Frank Caprio. I'm Shannon Heggie.
I'm Mike Montecalvo. We learned from his son this afternoon that the beloved judge and star of Caught in Providence had died after a battle with pancreatic cancer. The judge was 88. Governor Dan McKee has ordered all state flags to be flown at half-staff.
Before he left us, Judge Frank Caprio did one last unmistakably Caprio thing. From a hospital bed, he looked into the camera, thanked people for their kindness, and asked humbly for prayers. Not a spectacle, not a headline grab. A simple request for compassion from a man who'd spent a lifetime giving it. Tonight we'll walk through that final message, the moment the news arrived, and 5 courtroom stories that explain why his last words of gratitude hit so hard.
I'll be honest with you, I could have killed him, but I kept saying if I go to jail, she'll be left alone. So
imagine that. She loves you so much that she won't kill him.
Yeah, I know she means well, so I'm not going to argue with her, but...
I don't know. I don't know anything but what's going on, but as a general rule, I think you should listen to your parents, as a general rule. Mm-hmm. Hi, Brian.
Hi.
How old are you?
4.
4 years old?
Yeah.
Boy, you're a big guy. Are you going to help your mommy today?
Yeah.
Good. Now, I got 2 choices. I can charge your mommy $125, I can charge her $75, or I can charge her $25. So, what do you think? 125, 75, or 25?
5.
This is a smart boy.
yeah, he really is.
He loves his mommy, I can tell that. Mm-hmm. Are you going to help your mommy pay the $5?
Yeah.
You're going to help her. How are you going to? He's going to give you his birthday money.
His piggy bank.
He's going to go to the piggy bank, huh? The total fines were $125. Even though he wants me to charge you $5, I'm going to charge you the $25.
Oh, okay, thank you.
The final message. Judge Frank Caprio's last public act wasn't a press conference. It was a short video recorded from his hospital bed. In it, he explained he'd had a setback and asked viewers to remember him in their prayers. Again, he thanked everyone for their support, and you could hear the same gentleness you saw on the bench. No drama, just grace. That clip lived on his official socials, where he'd long shared updates with the same directness he brought to court. Honest, humble, hopeful. What made it unmistakably his was the framing. Others asked for attention. He asked for prayer. Others seek applause. He offered thanks. It felt less like a public statement and more like the way he treated people, one case at a time. When you watch it knowing what came next, the video becomes a kind of handshake. One last reminder that compassion is a two-way street. For years, people had seen him lift burdens. In that moment, he let the audience lift a little of his. That reciprocity is part of why the message spread so quickly after the news broke.
Well, I'm doing everything the doctors told me to do. I'm feeling stronger.
Good.
I flew cross country to be here today.
Of course, that's
from
a big
Rhode
deal.
Island to California.
Yeah.
So I think I'm taking the right steps and things look good.
The news and timeline. Within a day of that message, obituaries confirmed Judge Caprio had died at 88 after a battle with pancreatic cancer. The reports were brief and respectful, focusing on the judge who turned municipal court into a masterclass in empathy. The dates mattered less than the legacy, but the timeline underscored how close that final video was to the end. Coverage highlighted the arc many viewers only half knew. Providence kid, teacher by day, and law student by night, decades on the bench, then global recognition through Caught in Providence. The nicest judge in the world became a shorthand not for easy decisions, but for humane ones. He retired in 2023. The kindness never did. In Rhode Island, the tributes were immediate and official. Governor Dan McKee called him a state treasure and ordered flags at half-staff, a gesture that told the community what it already felt. This wasn't just the loss of a TV personality, it was the passing of a neighbor who made fairness feel local. Why that final message hit so hard. If you'd never watched his courtroom, the hospital video was moving. If you had, it was devastating. For years, he'd met people in their messiest moments, late fees, bad days, worse luck, and treated them as neighbors, not case numbers. So when he asked the world for prayers, it resonated as a closing chapter written in the same handwriting as every compassionate ruling. His tone in the video echoed the tone in his courtroom, patient, warm, and disarmingly personal. He didn't posture as a celebrity or a hero. He simply spoke like a man who believed the best in people and counted on them to give it back. That consistency is rare, and it's exactly why the message landed. And there's another layer. The most shared clips of his career weren't about avoiding consequences. They were about context, about asking one more question before you pass judgment. In the hospital video, he modeled that mindset again, honoring the community that had shown him care. It felt like the final verse of a song he'd been singing for decades.
Explanation to those tickets, I dealt with a domestic violence relationship. I ate a lot of those ways, running away from somebody that used to chase me with my daughter.
This young mom had 9 traffic violations, but after explaining her situation, Judge Caprio significantly reduced her fines.
So you're going to owe $125. Okay.
Can I give you a hug?
Come on up here.
Moment number 1, the 96-year-old dad. You've seen this one. A 96-year-old man stood before him on a speeding charge. He wasn't rushing to brunch. He was taking his son, an adult with health issues, to get blood work. Judge Caprio asked a few quiet questions, took it in, then dismissed the ticket. You are a good man. You really are what America is all about. It was tender and true, and millions felt it. What mattered wasn't only the outcome, it was the path to it. He didn't treat the rulebook as a wall, he treated it as a tool, and tools are meant to serve people. The heart of law in his hands was proportionality, matching response to reality, not just to regulations. That case stuck because it reframed justice as something that can kneel when necessary. On paper, it was a dismissed citation. In human terms, it was a judge recognizing a father's love and deciding that in this instance, the law's highest use was to step back.
You are a good man. You really are what America is all about. Here you are in your 90s, and you're still taking care of your family. That's just a wonderful thing for you. Well, how old is your son?
63.
Yeah.
Moment number 2. That one's on Max. Another core memory. A mother with a stack of tickets explained she'd lost her son. The air in the room changed. Judge Caprio didn't mind her grief for spectacle. He honored it. That one's on Max, he said, naming her child, and he dismissed the fine. It was one sentence that carried more weight than a lecture ever could. The legal power in that moment wasn't in the gavel, it was in the naming. Saying the boy's name acknowledged the full human story that had walked into court. It told a mourning parent she wasn't a case. She was a person who had lost someone irreplaceable. People shared that clip not because it was dramatic, but because it felt sacred. He showed that empathy doesn't cancel accountability, it locates it, choosing not to pile on where life has already taken more than its share.
So let me tell you what I'm going to do. On the speeding charge, that was 4 years ago, I'm going to dismiss that charge in memory of your son.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What was his name?
Max.
Max?
Max Rodriguez.
That one's on Max. Good luck.
Thank you.
You
Blessings.
can go.
Moment number 3, the kid judge. In one of his most beloved clips, a young child came to court with mom for a minor violation. Instead of turning it into a scolding, Judge Caprio turned it into a civics lesson, inviting the kid to choose a fair outcome. The child picked a middle ground. The room exhaled. The seed was planted. Justice can be firm and kind. This wasn't shtick, it was pedagogy. He was teaching a family, and everyone watching, what fairness feels like. Transparent, participatory, and compassionate. That simple invitation to the bench collapsed the distance between the system and the people. Even the Wire stories that tried to summarize his career kept coming back to this. He involved kids. He explained his reasoning. He made courtrooms less frightening and more human. That's not soft justice, that's trust building, and trust is what keeps communities intact.
Right. Now, you're going to say guilty or not guilty. What do you say?
Guilty.
Guilty.
Moment number 4, backing a parent teaching responsibility. Another theme across his cases. When parents brought kids to own a mistake, he didn't humiliate them, he reinforced them. He praised moms and dads who were modeling accountability with love, shaping consequences that taught rather than traumatized. It's one reason so many families felt safe in his courtroom. You can see it across the show's catalog: proportional outcomes, plain language explanations, and a public pat on the back for parents who do the hard, quiet work at home. He understood understood that the point isn't to break spirits, it's to bend behavior toward better. That's leadership, not the kind that shouts, but the kind that listens first, decides later, and leaves people better than it found them. It's the same posture you hear in that final hospital message. Grateful, grounded, focused on what actually changes lives.
So if there's a church group...
Appreciate that very much, Your Honor.
If there's a church... See, now he's talking well. See, instead of that, yep, nope, now it's, I appreciate it very well, Your Honor. Okay. I think maybe you should do that. You know, there were many outreach situations, nothing big. You don't have to go for, I'm not talking about 20 hours, just something small, even if it's for an hour or two. But go out and do something to help someone.
Closing, the last lesson. So what did Judge Frank Caprio do before he passed? He thanked people. He asked for prayers. He gave the world one last example of humility and faith, consistent to the end with the way he treated strangers who walked into his court. If his 5 most loved moments teach anything, it's this: context matters, mercy strengthens justice, and common sense counts. Say their names. Ask one more question. Choose a proportionate response. These are courtroom skills, and they're also community skills. If his final message moved you, here's the Caprio way to honor it. Use whatever power you have, at work, at home, online, to lift a small weight for somebody else today. That's how one judge's last request turns into 1,000 quiet acts long after the cameras are off and long after the headlines fade.